Della Maddalena just defeated Bilal Muhammad at UFC 315 pretty decisively. I thought he won 4 rounds. I know some people said 3. I picked JDM by 48-47 decision, and everything in my prediction video pretty much came true. Of course, when I pick Lopez or Pereira, everyone sees the video, and I pick JDM by decision. No one gives a fuck, but it was one of my best predictions, and I think that Islam Makhachev is definitely a harder matchup for JDM. I think he's a harder matchup pretty much for anyone compared to Bilal Muhammad. But I still feel like JDM is overlooked in this matchup, and I still think he could have a ton of success and potentially win the fight either by knockout or decision again. And I think Islam, again, he's very tough. He is the pound for pound #1 fighter in my opinion. Compared to Bilal Muhammad, he's a much better finisher. Not only is he more dangerous on the feet, but especially on the ground. We saw in his last fight against Moicano, JDM is very good at scrambling, getting back up to his feet. And with Moicano, I'm pretty sure he was scrambling, and in the scramble, he got caught with a submission, if I'm not mistaken. And then that ended the fight. So against a guy like Islam, JDM has to be a lot more careful. But why I believe, regardless, that Della Maddalena could win this fight, and why I think he's being overlooked, and why he is a hard matchup for Islam Makhachev. First off, the size difference. Now, I know lighter man skill, usually when people go up, they have a lot more success. But with Islam Makhachev, we've never seen him fight someone that's pretty much his size. I know Oliveira is close, but Islam's still bigger than Oliveira. And against guys like Arman, Volkanovski twice, Dustin Poirier, he's a lot bigger than them. And this matters because he has more success against those guys, let's say in the clinch. He's very good in the clinch, landing knees, getting takedowns. Where against JDM, he's not going to have as much success in the clinch. And against JDM, he's also very good. He could pull a Dustin Poirier and land body shots. Islam Makhachev is open to the body. I know he's very defensively sound, and I know it's going to be hard for JDM to land super clean against Islam Makhachev because Islam's very good at moving, rolling with the shots. So is JDM, though. So I think it could be like the Kevin Holland fight where both guys are having trouble landing on each other clean. But still, even that was a super close fight. And I also think that for Islam Makhachev, it's likely going to be in Perth, Australia, the fight. And we know last time he went to Australia, they're super hard on weight cutting, and that was one of his lesser performances against Volkanovski in the first fight. And I think if he would have this fight in Abu Dhabi, America, he would have a much bigger chance of winning the fight compared to Australia. That's massively in JDM's favor. Again, I know the weight cut isn't going to be as bad at 170. He's still very big. He probably walks around, if I had to guess, like 190. It's still going to be not an easy weight cut. And again, it lowers his chances in Australia. And the main reason why I think JDM's being overlooked is I don't think Islam's going to have a ton of success in the grappling, especially compared to his previous fights. He's not going to have the size advantage. He's going to be stronger at 170 than 155. But even still, I don't know if he's going to have the strength advantage against JDM. I think JDM is bigger, and I think JDM will have the strength advantage for the first time. Also, if we look at his previous fights against guys like Dustin Poirier, Volkanovski, even Charles Oliveira, he struggled to take all of them down. Yes, he took all of them down. If we look against a guy like Charles Oliveira, he kind of threw himself on bottom. Volkanovski, he couldn't take him down the second time. And the first time, outside of the 4th round, he took him down, but he struggled to do so, and even still, Volkanovski got back up. Against Dustin Poirier, same thing. Outside of really the 1st round and when he submitted him, which, again, he has the submission threat, Dustin Poirier was getting back up in multiple rounds and doing very good on the feet. Islam was also doing good on the feet, but still, I feel like that with JDM, he is obviously bigger and has better takedown defense than Dustin Poirier. And for Volkanovski, he's way bigger. And on top of that, I think he arguably has better takedown defense. I think it's right up there with Volkanovski. I would lean Volkanovski, but with the size, he's going to be the hardest opponent, even compared to Arman Tsarukyan, I think, to take down than Islam Makhachev has ever faced in the octagon. Now, with that being said, I think that the majority of the fight will take place in the center. I think that Islam will take him down, but I don't think he's going to submit him. I think that's the most success he'll get. I don't think he's going to get much control time. I don't think Islam's control time is anything crazy, like I said about Bilal in my prediction, Bilal has good but not great control time, and honestly, I think that you could say the same about Islam. The thing about Makhachev is even if it's in the center, he's still going to have success on the feet. Just like I said, Bilal would have success on the feet. He's going to keep it close on the feet, but I would think one of the biggest myths is that he's one of the best strikers in the UFC. I think defensively that's true, but overall, I just don't think so. I think offensively, I don't think he's one of the best. And another common myth is people say, oh, he outboxed Dustin Poirier, which I don't think that's true. I think that he had success in the pocket with boxing, and on the feet, he landed a bunch of good shots. It was nearly even on the feet, but that's because there was such a big takedown threat. If JDM early is able to establish good takedown defense and show you're not going to take me down easily, Islam isn't going to do as good on the feet. I think defensively he's going to be able to roll with shots. I don't think he's going to get hurt. I don't think it's going to be a JDM early knockout. I said against Bilal, I said if he does hurt him, it's going to be in the later rounds. And I think that that's true with this fight. I think if JDM is able to hurt Islam, it's not going to be until rounds probably 4 through 5 if I had to guess. And just like Bilal, I think Islam is going to keep it really competitive. I think it's going to be nearly even on strikes. I think JDM has a higher output. I think Islam could be sometimes lower output, and I think JDM is going to be slightly ahead on strikes. And I think how Islam is likely going to win the fight, if he does, is he's going to have to take him down in like the last minute or two. When it's a close round and it's nearly even on strikes and you're a little bit behind, I think Islam is going to have to get the takedown. And if JDM is able to stuff it like he did against Belal Muhammad, is able to keep it on the feet and land a few more punishing strikes for, Islam shooting a takedown, he's going to win the fight. He's going to win the fight. I don't think Makhachev is going to knock out or even hurt JDM. It's going to be like Belal, where Belal was able to land a few really good shots, but Islam, he doesn't have a ton of knockout power. Maybe with kicks, but even still, I don't think he's going to head kick, knock out JDM. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't even think he's going to submit him, to be honest. I think it's likely a 48-47 decision either way. And in my opinion, I think it's going to be JDM. Right now, I'm leaning towards JDM. I think it's probably going to be split. I said the last one I thought JDM was going to win it 48-47, probably a split decision. And it ended up being like a 48-47 unanimous, where it's a little bit more clear than I thought. This one I think is going to be closer. And I think this is like a 50-50 matchup. I may change my mind. I haven't watched every single fight back, which I will for the final prediction. When this fight is announced, I know Dana's going live later, so when this video is posted, I have no clue what it's going to be. I assume it's going to be Ilya versus Oliveira, which I'm not super excited for. I'm nervous for Oliveira. And then it could be something like Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane, maybe Pantoja, Kai Kara France. But those are just my thoughts. I think JDM is being overlooked again. I said this last time against Belal. I made like 2 videos about it. I think this is a harder matchup for him, but I think he has a legit shot, and he shouldn't be that big of an underdog. But let me know who you guys have in this matchup. I think it's very close. But yeah, that is it for me. Let me know what you think, and yeah.